Have you ever walked away from a conversation, and hours later, something still didn't feel right? Not because someone yelled, not because there was a fight, but because somehow you left that conversation feeling smaller, drained, like you owed someone something, even though you couldn't explain why. That feeling is usually a sign that something important just happened. Someone quietly made a withdrawal from your emotional bank account. Every relationship has one. Every act of respect, kindness, and care is a deposit. Every moment of guilt, pressure, or manipulation is a withdrawal. Healthy relationships grow because both people keep making deposits. But some people play a different game. They make just enough deposits to hide the withdrawals. And over time, without realizing it, you start feeling exhausted in their presence. Because emotional damage rarely arrives like a punch. It arrives like a slow leak. A comment here, a little guilt there, a quiet moment where you suddenly feel like you did something wrong, even though you didn't. Today, we're going to look at 6 signs that reveal whether someone in your life is truly making deposits or quietly draining the account. And the last one is the most dangerous, because almost nobody recognizes it until years later. Let's start with something simple. Imagine someone asks you for a favor. Maybe they want your time. Maybe they need help with something. But for whatever reason, you honestly can't do it. So you say the simple truth. I can't help with that right now. That moment reveals more about a relationship than most people realize. Because the moment you say no is when people show their real character. Someone who truly respects you, accepts the answer. No problem. And the moment ends there. But someone who doesn't respect your limits reacts differently. They become distant. They make you feel guilty. They bring it up later like you let them down. And suddenly, your reasonable boundary turns into something you feel pressured to fix. That's when you learn something important. Love respects your boundaries. Control punishes them. Your no doesn't end real relationships. It only exposes fake ones. Now let's go deeper. At some point in every real relationship, you give someone something fragile. Your vulnerability. Maybe it's a fear, a painful memory, a mistake from your past. You share it because in that moment, you believe you're safe. But what happens next tells you everything. Because the way someone handles your pain reveals their character. Someone who truly cares protects it, even when they're angry, even during arguments. They never reach for it. But some people quietly store that information away. And months later, during a disagreement, they suddenly bring it back. The very thing you trusted them with becomes the thing they use to hurt you. And in that moment, you realize something painful. They weren't protecting your heart. They were studying it. The fastest way to know someone's character is to watch what they do with your pain. Now here's where things become confusing. Because the next sign hides inside something that looks like kindness. Think about someone who helps you. They show up. They do something nice. And at first it feels genuine. Until one day, you hear a sentence like this. After everything I've done for you, that's the moment the truth becomes clear. Real kindness gives freely. Manipulation keeps a receipt. Because when someone keeps track of every good thing they've done for you, those favors were never gifts. They were investments. And eventually, they expect payment. But one of the clearest signs of who truly cares about you shows up during a completely different moment. Not during success. Not during celebration. During difficulty. When life is exciting, people gather easily. But eventually, something hard happens. You struggle. You lose something. You go quiet. And suddenly, the room gets emptier. That moment answers a question most people forget to ask. The people who leave during your winter were never your people. Because real friends don't just show up for the sunshine. They stay when the weather turns cold. But the most dangerous sign of all is the quietest one. It doesn't happen in arguments. It doesn't happen in obvious ways. It shows up as a feeling. You start rehearsing conversations before you have them. You think carefully about every word. You wonder if they're upset with you. You try to be funnier, more interesting, more impressive, just to keep their approval. And slowly, something becomes clear. You're not relaxing in that relationship. You're performing. You're auditioning. And here is the truth that changes everything. If you feel like you're auditioning for someone's love, you were never in a relationship. You were in a casting call. Because real relationships don't require auditions. You don't need to prove you deserve to stay. You don't need to perform to be accepted. You simply belong. Love should feel like home, not like an interview. Before we finish, take a quiet moment and look at the pattern. Because real care always leaves the same fingerprints. Someone who truly cares about you, respects your boundaries. They protect your vulnerability. They give kindness without keeping score. They stay when life gets hard. They allow you to grow beyond your past. And they never make you audition for love. Those 6 things aren't unrealistic expectations. They're simply what real care looks like. So here's something worth asking yourself tonight. When you think about the people in your life, how many of those 6 are actually there? Maybe 1, maybe several, or maybe this video helped you see something you hadn't been able to name before. If that happened, tell me in the comments. Which of these 6 signs felt the most familiar to your experience? Because sometimes the moment we say something out loud is the moment we finally start seeing our situation clearly. And if you know someone who might need to hear this today, share this video with them. You never know who might still be standing on the wrong stage, thinking they have to perform just to be loved.